It had nothing to do with this book, Escort 101. In my book, which they're going to broadcast here, a pimp turns out a young lady who was 13 years old. One thing they didn't say, the pimp himself was 13 years old. That's in my book, The Kingpin of Pimps. He's talking about his first turnout. So if you look at the news clip.
Good evening. We begin tonight with a story you will see only here on King 5. An escort service busted, and the man in charge is accused of preying on a teenage runaway and on other women, and then writing a book to tell about it.
Okay, I'm going to stop it right there because I'm going to tell you, my escort service was never busted. I had shut down in 2002. I was selling my book, The Kingpins of the Pimps, but when the government came to me and told me that, you understand, two rookies got the book, start pimping on a 13-year-old girl that was influenced by my book, they told me to stop writing the book.
Waiters.
Look, man. Niggas done tapped out a long time ago, man.
See all those shakedown broke bitches break down.
Bunny ear pockets. Bitches' purse been emptied out.
Break down.
Her first day down, she made a couple bands on the blade. Keep her down for 30 days, keep her down for 30 days. They say you ain't got a hoe, you can't come to the blade. Keep her down for 30 days, keep her down for 30 days.
Somebody tell me what's the king to an ace. If life a marathon, we gon' do it first place. Call me Lavish rich, cause I got expensive taste. If you scared, hide your hoe, bro, cause I'm beating her face.
Have you ever played spades? What's a king to an ace? Tell a hoe to have a trick, take her to her date. Niggas say they pimpin', but they fallin' for the bait. Niggas say they kings, but they know that we the ace.
Got my daughter shit for Christmas, all she wanted was some babe. Remember every Christmas, all I wanted was some pay. Them is 30 inches, baby, them is not no weight. You ain't tryna hold, then you need to go and hit a bang.
Welcome to Seattle's autonomous zone. This is what happens when protesters take over an entire city block, including a police station. Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone. It's about 3 or 4 streets, just famous for being ground zero for protests in Seattle. I've been covering protests here for a decade now. This is about where they all start and about where they all end, at Cal Anderson Park.
The only reason why we have made police unwelcome here is because their presence has been largely antagonistic. While they aren't here, there's nothing but peace and humanity over there. And it is beautiful.
I'm not kidding. I mean, this guy, he is following me. And it wouldn't be that big of a deal, but he has a 9mm gun on his hip.
More calls today to defund the police, but what does that mean? What would it actually look like? King 5's Chris Daniels talked to Seattle city leaders. He joins us now live from one Seattle police precinct. What's their perspective tonight, Chris?
Yeah, Joyce, the protests and violent confrontations have led to new calls to reduce police funding, not only in Seattle, but across the country. And in this city, it could happen sooner rather than later. Defund the police. It is a phrase, it is a movement, and complicated to say the least. In Seattle, the police department accounts for more than $400 million of the annual budget, dwarfing community funding or health and human services.
Our police officers were earning 2014 salary dollars in a 2018 Seattle.
Seattle, with a near unanimous council vote in 2019, has also been offering $15,000 signing bonuses to attract more officers and fill a shortfall.
Let's go get more.
All right. Yeah. Some folks just really are embracing of the concept of a reduction in the police department budget and a reallocation to invest in people and other ways to address communities' public safety needs.
Council Public Safety Chair Lisa Herbold says her perspective has changed since she and her colleagues approved the police bonuses last year.
I think this is a really important opportunity to both take apart the budget and reimagine what a public safety department for the city might look like.
One of the council's more moderate voices and steady mayoral ally, Deborah Juarez, tweeted she's ready to defund the police as well, but defunding should not be confused with disbanding. There is precedent in Camden, New Jersey, where corruption and crime rates led to the elimination of the entire police department in 2013. Officers were forced to reapply to a larger county law enforcement office focused on neighborhood patrol and social programs. The early reviews have largely been positive. Comparing Camden and Seattle is like comparing apples and oranges, but the fruits of that effort may shape the discussion in the weeks to come.
He claims to be a rap artist and actor, but Andre Taylor is wanted for selling the services of a 16-year-old runaway. Police say the two have been seen together in Hollywood and San Francisco. If you have any information on their whereabouts, you're urged to call Metro Police.
Guidelines. And before you even a pimp, you got to be a man. I grew up, my father was a pimp, my mother was a hoe. It was fascinating, really, as a 10-year-old boy, seeing beautiful women coming in and out of your house. And in the beginning, it was real fascinating to me. I mean, I was blown away. Wow, my daddy's a ladies' man, you know what I'm saying? My father would sit me down and he would tell me, he said, son, you see everything there is that's going around here. He said, and that's okay. But he never glamorized that to me. He never said that I want you to be a pimp. And he would teach me that you got to be a man before you be anything. I jog, every day. And one day I saw a 9-year-old little girl and about a 7-year-old little boy. And they noticed me, they recognized me. Because they said, oh, there goes that pimp. Wow. You know what I'm saying? And that was a devastating thing to me, At that moment, that felt like the worst thing that ever happened to me. For them kids at 9 and 7 to look at me with glossy eyes as if being a pimp was the thing to be. I didn't start out at 7 and 9 years old worshiping and wanting to be a damn pimp. Here and just make a couple of dollars, that ain't shit. There might be a rich man or something. She don't even know how to be around this rich man. She don't know how to act or to seduce this motherfucking rich man because it ain't been taught her. He might want to fuck her for $50, $100, but he come fucking one of my hoes, he gonna get broke for damn near whatever he had. Because that's what I'm playing for. I'm playing for big stakes.
I want to thank the news for coming today. This is a really important day as we move towards the next phases of work from Initiative 940. My name is Monisha Harrell. I'm one of the co-chairs for De-Escalate Washington. And really, you came to hear these people, so I'm gonna kick us off. This work could not have happened without the voters of this state. And we want to first start by thanking the voters of this state for bringing us forward in this progress. And we are happy to be standing here together as a unified organization, as a unified group, communities and law enforcement and legislators here to work on the next phases of this initiative. I want to start by introducing the founder of Not This Time, Andre Taylor. He is also one of the co-chairs of De-Escalate Washington and has been a champion for this work in particular. And so to get us started, I'd like to welcome Mr. Andre Taylor.
Thank you. Hello. I would also like to piggyback off of what Monisha said. We owe a great gratitude to the voters in Washington State who had the vision and the fortitude to believe in our tagline, building bridges between community and police. We want to thank you. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be here today. This is an incredible time, not only in our state, but in our country, for us to stand forward and set a precedent of what police accountability looks like, not only here, but for all over this country. I'm in great gratitude to WACOPS, WASPEC, and FOP to have met with us over probably a year now that have been in those conversations. We've been able to build relationships and some friendships as well. That lets you know that community and law enforcement can work together. And what we do today is to show how we progress for our future, for our children, and for our communities and law enforcement. I am honored to be with them, standing together with them as we go forward and to solidifying what we have done in this state, bringing people together, bringing all people together. We appreciate you, we thank you, and we are excited about this change.
What's his name? George Floyd! What's his name? George Floyd!
Our hearts go out to the families of not just George Floyd. We are crying out for all of the Black lives who have died from police violence. We're done dying. We're done dying.
Stop killing us! Stop killing us!
If we're not able to feel our emotions, I think it like stays with us. And that's why I think everyone is kind of just like bursted out, like with a lot of rage as well, because it's like this keeps happening over and over again. These are people's lives.
Don't shoot! Don't shoot!
The acts of we want a better system, we want a better way about things, man, I mean, that's part and parcel of our history right here. Pepper spray!
Bitch, wait, if you ever told on a nigga I ain't related, nah, smoking Gary Payton, hey, niggas been hating, hey, niggas think they demons till you send their ass to Satan, Lord, you hoes really basic, I'm riding in a spaceship, no, I don't got no patience, fighting open cases, she had the Emerald Down, got her at the horse races, she had the Emerald Downs, got her at the horse races, type of nigga wear them Gucci North Face, got a gold grill in my mouth, these ain't braces, pull a stack of money out, nigga blue faces, cut them niggas off cause them niggas two-faced, at a hotel putting money in a safe, bitch.
I still rep the trap, bitch. I want blue faces, got a black and a white pretty bitch, 2 races. Why these niggas goose chasing? I just be 2 cases, plus I just rep my credit up, Navy Fed banking. Baby girl gave me all the trap, she be ass shaking. Ever since a little ass kid, I been bread breaking. But don't get it twisted, little nigga, you can catch the stainless. All these niggas on the net, shit, I rep be rich and famous. All us one brothers and sisters, even the neighbors claim us. White folks lock us up in a box and pray it changes, but we never change. Soon as we unchained, then we chain us.
Smoking like Jamaican, bad bitch, wait, if you ever told on a nigga I ain't related, nah, smoking Gary Payton, hey, niggas been hating, hey, niggas think they demons till you send their ass to Satan, Lord, you hoes really basic, I'm riding in a spaceship, no, I don't got no patience, fighting open cases, she had the Emerald Down, got her at the horse races, she had the Emerald Downs, got her at the horse races, got her.
It's become almost a nightly occurrence for residents living near Aurora Avenue, the site of pimp turf wars and gun battles, with prostitutes regularly walking the area. And Seattle police say the state's perceived lax policies are creating an environment where people almost believe prostitution is legal in Washington state.
Our prostitution track, in particular on Aurora, has become the second most prolific track in the United States. I'm constantly pulling children off of those tracks on a daily basis. The last one of 14 years of age that was brought 2 days prior to me getting her from Texas.
Earlier this month, Seattle police arrested 9 men in an undercover prostitution sting. But by law, those men could only be charged with misdemeanors.
I spoke with the victim's mother today. She tells me her son leaves behind 2 children and says he meant a lot to the community. So far, police say no arrests have been made.
I reported someone shot 104 in Aurora.
It's the call that came in about a 31-year-old man shot early this morning before 12:30.
We got a gunshot wound to the left side.
His family says he was a father and a well-known local rap artist who went by the name Lavish Rich.
Other people are saying they heard 4 to 10 shots in the area.
The violence that took his life is weighing on neighbors along Aurora Avenue.
Well, Aurora has always been crazy, but not this bad.
Adult male with a gunshot wound to the abdomen.
He ran from over there across the street and ended up in front of the store. Yeah, it's almost daily on Aurora now where somebody's getting shot or shots are fired. It's kind of getting squirrely and scary out here.
According to Seattle police, in this part of the city, in the North Precinct, there were 15 homicides last year. And so far this year, through the end of July, there have been 8.
Hey, it's Rick on them
keys and
I'm feeling like Tony, yeah, bitch, life's great. I got 3 hoes with me to count the trap, I need a break. I broke the Rolls Royce that I hop on the A. Your hoe out of pocket, you a fucking nutcase. If you scared, hide your hoe, bro, I'ma be in her face. A good year of hoe, and that's a terrible thing to waste. She learned how to fuck and he blew all the pay. The bitch wanna choose, I told her find your escape. I sat your bitch down, she keep asking for a break. 3 hoes with me, nothing like a limit date. I'm feeling like Tony, yeah, bitch, life's great. I'm blowing all the 20s every time the hoe break. You niggas not known, but I'm known in 30 states. Never went cross country, little nigga who can't relate. He can't send it to the weed store, that nigga gon' hate. I'm some Northwest Division ism, I be at the gate. Got an LS for my dunk, it came in a crate. Took myself out to the Met, ordered a $100 steak. Like Diddy about the cheese, made her walk for the cake.
This is ridiculous. There's sometimes 20, 30 girls out here wearing clothes that are not for walking down Aurora with families driving by.
He says his insurance company doubled his costs because he's in a high crime area.
And I couldn't argue with him because guess what? We are in a high crime area.
His solution? Legalize it, tax it, and regulate it.
Wake up, city council. You know, get on it. This is about the people that pay their taxes. It's not trying to protect these people that are criminals.
Yeah, Molly and Preston, Bellevue police say this all started out as a routine patrol call where a couple of officers thought something didn't quite look right. That led to prosecutors saying they were able to take down a vicious pimp who was abusing a woman and selling her for sex work while keeping the money for himself.
So trying to tell me leave alone?
On social media,
It's trying to tell me leave money alone.
Cedric Dorsey painted himself as a pimp.
Why I'm a pimp?
With money, swagger, and influence.
SCCC 333.
But investigators say his lifestyle was built by forced sex work, as Dorsey trafficked a woman into prostitution in Seattle, Bellevue, Kent, and Las Vegas. It all came undone in 2024 when Bellevue police responded to a domestic violence call involving Dorsey and his victim.
They listened to what that victim was telling them and realized things weren't just adding up for her and what she was saying, and that she was in a very dangerous situation.
Bellevue Police Major Ellen Inman says patrol officers noticed signs of trafficking and called detectives.
When you ask them questions, they're answering repeatedly in these kind of scripted or answers that sound like they're rehearsed. When they served the search warrant on his premise, they recovered $12,000 in cash, along with those 3 firearms, one of which was stolen, and a banned firearm.
King County prosecutors hit Dorsey with charges of human trafficking, promoting prostitution, and unlawful possession of a firearm.
We see very significant violence, strangulation, beatings, assaults.
Prosecutor Brayla McGinnis tried Dorsey's case where his own social media posts were used as evidence, including this one about the 304 oath, where prostitutes promise not to cooperate with police and say they aren't victims.
One of the biggest rules of the game is not to talk to police. It is that idea of selling the dream, right? Saying, I have these nice things. If you come with me, you can have all of this, right? And when you're talking to someone who has had a very rough upbringing or a very troubled life, that's the vulnerability that they exploit.
That's the way I look at social media. And
Back in the box, it was just insane.
She got this shit song now. Got it song on the blade, got it song on the block. Bitch, she gotta keep it down, nigga, when it's hot. It ain't about what you had, it's about what you got. Got her on the Aurora, hoe standing on the block.
Nice fat trap out of a little dirty cock. Use a brand new whip to burn rubber from the cops. I ain't got no officer smack a nigga, chop my locks. Man, this faggot ass bitch always tryna stop my yacht. It ain't about what you had, it's about what you got. Me and Shake down those up in the drop.
Baby girl, you was lost when you found me. King of Aurora, little bitch had to crown me. Can you hear me when I talk? You just sounded. Hey, you either swim or you're drowning. Bitch ain't loyal cause she smoking on foil. Getting hella skinny, looking like she olive oil. My bitch on the blade, selling like some lemonade. Hoes fuck with pimps, they don't want no renegade. She on fig, but she wanna hit the A. I remember when we used to hit anyway. Anyway, baby girl, I make that semi-spray. Doors up on a drop top with the SK. 3 bands off the blade, that's a good day. Nigga said he pimpin', but I seen him at his hood day. He said he pimpin', but he flashing off a bank play. Said he pimped for it, but he really hit a bank play.
Mac Telemundo, Seattle El Segundo. Used to flip burgers, now she sell culo. Sippin' on brandy, my paint that's candy. Renegade prostitutes, they cannot stand me. About to get Grammy, condo in Miami. Found out where her mouth been, had to ask her mammy. Penalize her, energizer, then I stuck the dick inside her. All you do is sympathize her when you know she been a liar. Got her shelling Harry Cock, Hilton and Marriott. Put up in a cherry drop, flipped it off a scary thought. Muy caliente, translation very hot. Settle down at every stop, now I got a heavy knot.
Room keys and choosing fees. Room keys and choosing fees. They don't know what to do with me. I been had this game way before I hit puberty. Room keys and choosing fees. Room keys and choosing fees. They don't know what to do with me. I been had this game way before I hit puberty.
Pleasure to be here.
Pleasure to meet you, bro. What's the name?
Good Energy. We're in Seattle on Aurora Avenue, famous for some pimping and some hoeing around here.
From what I was reading prior to coming here, there was a shooting last week.
There was like 17 this past month. All the shooting, when people are doing that, they're trying to give a bad rap to the people who are really in it, but these dudes are really in the way. And they're messing up the money for other people. Gang member pimping, guerrilla pimping, that's not pimping to me. There's definitely none of that stereotypical evilness involved when somebody's in the lifestyle.
And bro, what would be the situation, I guess, if a girl comes back to the pimp but decides to keep like 50% of the money? Well, what would happen in that instance?
That's not pimping.
Is that just not that simple as that?
It's just not pimping. That's cutting deals.
Would you say it's fair that the girl does all the work and I guess the pimp just comes and takes the money? Would you say that's a fair exchange or a fair transaction?
Say that vague comment that they're just giving their money away. A lot of these females didn't get into the game with any knowledge or information. And when you go to college and you go to school, you don't go to school for free. They charge you for the information because knowledge is power. So sometimes a female meets somebody that they're paying for game, you know, and everything's built off of understanding. Any company, you have to have a leader and somebody has to have a role to play. A real pimp's never gonna take two things away from a woman, and that's her life and her ability to make her own choice. When they say that dudes are forcing females and making females come out here and do this type of stuff, females were selling pussy before pimping was ever thought of. Female's gonna use her natural God-given talents to benefit her situation and move herself forward ahead in life, regardless of if
For the women, if a woman's standing here for 12 hours, and let's say she was my sister, I would feel like there's a level of morality where you feel bad for the woman.
The only females I feel sorry for is a female who's not really touched down and really fucking with some real pimping. The first girl I ever seen walking on the blade was my own blood sister. See, a lot of these females, they like blame, they like to play victim because a lot of these females ain't victim. A lot of these females are choosing to be involved.
Taking aim at Backpage.com, the well-known and controversial advertising website seized by the Department of Justice and the FBI today. The site, long thought by many to promote prostitution and sex trafficking, including the trafficking of children. The seizure of the website coming today as a grand jury returned a 93-count indictment against 7 individuals associated with Backpage.com, a website that was founded right here in Arizona. A spokesperson for the U.S. Attorney's Office in Phoenix saying today, quote, "The allegation here is that the defendants conspired to knowingly facilitate prostitution offenses through the operation of Backpage.com.
Every day, if you go to sleep, you wake up and you start working. And you wait and you wait and you wait for the call. You work until either you go to sleep or the days run into the next day and run into the next day and you're up for 2 or 3 days. It was literally like an all-day thing. There's no social life, no time for friends. That's pretty much, you live to work and work to live. Well, when you have to answer to somebody 24/7, like there really isn't, it's not a life. I mean, I was alone all the time, like 24/7, other than when we connected to give him money. Wasn't allowed to have friends. Wasn't allowed to be connected to my family. I had no belongings. I mean, it was lonely. It's really lonely. It was an everyday thing. Like, first it was just a couple dollars, you know, to post an ad. Then it went up to $5, and when it went up to $10, it was like devastating, because you have to post like 3 and 4 times a day just to keep your ads to the top. I mean, it was an everyday thing. Just other girls in the industry. I mean, it's kind of that type of news just passes on. I mean, that's how I started. Backpage, I think, keeps the industry hidden. You know, it's booming for business, but it keeps the industry hidden. It took the girls off the streets and brought them indoors. And I mean, gosh, you post an ad on Backpage within like 20, 30 minutes, you've got 10, 15, 20 calls. You know, I mean, sometimes it was so ridiculous I couldn't even get to the calls. You know, text messages, emails, phone calls. I think that the positive thing about it is it's gonna bring those girls out of that hotel room. I mean, it's a bittersweet. You know, we're gonna see it go back to the old-fashioned way, and we'll see a lot of girls walking the streets, which of course is gonna be more dangerous, but it brings them out and it makes them more visible, and we can have contact with them, you know? From the industry, I mean, I met a lot of people that were underage, and there's literally zero accountability on Backpage's part. You know, like, oh, are you older? You know, are you older than the age of 18? Click this box, and that was pretty much it. You know, whereas a lot of other websites will ask you to send in your photo ID, which even still can be faked, but they'll actually take the effort. You know, send in your photo ID, and then they'll verify the age, you know, make sure it's a real person compared to the pictures and whatnot. But Backpage, I posted so many fake pictures so many times. You've got, you know, people down in San Diego answering phones for a girl, say that's in Seattle, you know, and Backpage is, that's the best market for the kids. Best market. I mean, mine was like really opposed to it because he really wanted street traffic, because you make like quicker cash doing street rates. But I mean, when I started in the industry is when Backpage just started getting big. And once you realized how much revenue was coming in, I mean, what you work a whole day on the street to make, you can make in like a couple of hours on Backpage. So, and I mean, you gotta consider there's thousands and thousands and thousands of girls just for one city. And each girl posts at least 3 or 4 times a day at $10 a post. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. And we're talking one city being just Tacoma, and then you've got another city being Federal Way, and then you got another city being Kent. That's like a lot of posts.
Good energy.
Y'all told me.
York Nation, bitch.
Y'all told the bitch to get in the backseat.
I did come in for the 808.
You wanna be a star? You wanna go to the club? You wanna hit the bar? You want a big house, pull up with a foreign car? You wanna be up on a blade or be a porn star? You wanna knock you a trick like an athlete? Stay in pocket, bitch, niggas in your face like acne. Niggas talking shit, now his bitches getting at me. She came back with some money, so it kinda made me happy. I don't want no square bitch, I like a bitch to get it trappy. A hoe can never say that he ever kidnapped me. Meet me on Linden, baby girl, that's the back street. I'ma kill a nigga if he ever try to jack me. You ain't never bought no new clothes about a Mario. See these little bitches and I'm pulling off on sorry hoes. 500 for these North Face pants. I got the 30, so you know I can't dance. I might go hard, but I still slow dance. Pop out on this pippin', but I still romance. You ain't got no money, then you got no chance. Stand up on Aurora with that little hoe stance. Yeah, I'm getting a restless bitch looking desperate. Baby staying down, so I bought her a new necklace. You can have anything that you ever dreamed of. Pull up on these hoes on the blade with a mean mug.
Hey, Dee Dee. Hey, welcome to Houston, man. Check this out, man. What'd you do with the girls? Well, you understand, Tony? You understand, being I'm traveling, you can see my Superfly coach. You understand, it's the Hurricane. Me and the girls, we've been traveling, you know, understand, across the country, making tracks, selling the book, The Kingpins of the Pimps. Reason why I sent the girls up to the store, I don't want them to be in no production, videos, commercials, or nothing like that, because as you know, the government sent me to prison already for writing this book, and all it takes is, you understand, an FBI, CIA, or some old police officer, you understand, once they start knowing my girls, then they gonna start attacking my girls, you understand? Don't get me wrong, you understand, they 10 toes down, they wanna be down, but when it comes to money, you know, a couple that got kids, you know, start jeopardizing themselves, and then they may do something faulty. It only takes one little mistake, you understand? They say I'm still pimping, which I'm only selling the book right now. The book is really, really Kingpin and Pimps. You know, we're doing some Superfly stuff nationwide, but they'll swear up and down, they pay one of these girls, and they'll testify in federal court, swear up and down, do you understand, the coaches for pimping, and we still doing some international pimping, but I'm not pimping, I'm just selling this book, selling it nationwide. I'm down here in Houston, they having a urban black book festival that they have, you understand, starting in the spring all the way to the summer. We've been turning corners all through states, through California, Nevada, so you understand, we've been out here mashing for our rash, you understand, kicking rocks, you know, just like in the old pimping days, but we just selling, we still pimping, but we just, you understand, the product is not pussy, you understand, the product is the book. So, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I want to let everybody know Pimpin' Diddy from Liberal City is down here in effect, you understand, inner city music, all the way down here, you understand, in Houston, Texas, you understand, selling the Kingpin of the Pimps.
There's some great figures in Seattle history.
Drive through downtown and you'll see them. Denny, Yesler, Boren, and Bell, the so-called founding fathers of our fair city.
Many of them are memorialized on our street names.
But legend has it a woman saved Seattle from utter failure. A woman perhaps more powerful, more prominent than the men we've come to learn about in our local history books. She was an immigrant. She was queer, and she ran a brothel.
Everybody in town knew her. She was frequently in the newspapers. People on the street could identify her by name. That's how important she was.
When we started digging deeper into her history, we found that how complicated it is to get any actual facts.
There is rumor that there is actually no real picture of her.
We need to do real research to find out who was Lou Graham.
Like many locals, Leonard Garfield has been mystified by the mythology of Madame Lou.
But the trail she's left behind has almost entirely disappeared.
As director of the Museum of History and Industry, it's Leonard's job to educate the public on Emerald City folklore.
I think Seattle is a place that actually loves the anti-hero.
Known as the Queen of the Lava Beds, Lou Graham wheeled and dealed within Seattle's seedy underbelly.
She was born in Germany, ended up in Seattle as a young person, stayed here until her 40s.
Liquor, gambling, and prostitution brought her great wealth, but also considerable influence.
And she really tried to present herself as a woman of the world.
Take a stroll through Pioneer Square and you'll find the bones of her bohemian bordello still remain. A gold placard on the brick facade acknowledges the former site of her sporting house. It's said, disguised as a house of seamstresses, she entertained government officials and members of Seattle's first families.
And if you walked into Lou Graham's bordello, it would be as if you were transported to Europe. The furniture was ornate, the women were beautifully dressed.
Lexi Bovey says if she was living back near the turn of the century, Graham would have likely employed her.
I have been a sex worker since 2016.
Lexi also identifies as queer, and for both those reasons,
I see it as this like cultural ancestor, this lineage, and I feel really proud to be connected to her in that way.
Tour guides here in town say Graham sought to elevate the women working under her, educating them in language, politics, and business. They were propped up more like high-end courtesans.
Women were facing similar types of oppression everywhere, and women were not allowed to have jobs. You had two options, and that was become a wife or become a prostitute.
Her former house of harlotry is now home to the Union Gospel Mission, and there's some irony in that. Graham built quite the reputation as a generous benefactor. the Great Fire.
A lot of banks weren't willing to lend to folks during the rebuilding because it was too risky. She went out on a limb to really rebuild the whole Pioneer Square area. And I think that her not giving up on the city after that type of destruction is something that's very inspiring to us.
Shayna Foley, general manager of the Crocodile Music Hall, stumbled upon Graham while on the search to name her newest concert venue. Like many others we've spoken with, she first heard the Madam's Tale from guides on Seattle's popular underground tour.
It caught on immediately, and we just thought, what a great way to honor a woman who has obviously had a large impact on the history of Seattle.
Not only is Madame Lou's inked onto the awning outside, the interior of this Belltown establishment was designed with her in mind. A collection of provocative curios from the late 1800s lines the descent leading to the stage. And then, right above it,
the mural at the top of the stairs.
In the foreground, an illustrious-looking Lou stands tall. In the background, Seattle burns.
She seemed like a fierce, independent woman in a time where you weren't necessarily looked at honorably for being fierce and independent.
Historians will tell you she was a phoenix far ahead of her time.
She hired indigenous women. She hired Asian American women. There is some suggestion that she hired transgender people to work in her bordello. So she was a person who had a very diverse and inclusive perspective on human life, something we associate more with contemporary attitudes than we do with the 19th century.
Sex workers are a really marginalized group. You could potentially classify us as second-class citizens.
Speaking on behalf of other sex workers, Lexi shared stories like theirs are often ignored, even those of a legendary woman who once dominated the headlines.
Culturally, for a long time, we've shamed this community and we've shamed this work, but it's such an intrinsic part of our culture and our history.
I think as the 20th century wore on, we became uncomfortable with the notion that a woman running a house of prostitution could actually be considered a leading citizen. And so decade by decade, we began to erase our memory of Lou Graham and our real understanding of the role she played.
I think that it's really incredible and important to involve women in our history because we're so often left out of it.
All right, it's a talker. I know that's for sure. And I'm sure after just watching all of that, you've got a few questions, so hit me.
I certainly do,
Frankie.
myself, and I'm sure a lot of viewers out there want to know what happened to Madame Lou after all of that fame and notoriety.
Well, she passed away down in San Francisco. She did not die here in the city of Seattle. And when she passed, there was a number of her German family members that came from all across the world trying to get a piece of the pie. They wanted that money. They wanted the mansion that she owned in Capitol Hill. They tried to seize her assets, scrambling to get it, but their attempts were unfruitful. See, when she died, everything she owned was donated to what would later become Seattle Public Schools. And tour guides on Seattle's underground tour, they claim it was the largest donation to date to the school district until Bill Gates in the 80s or 90s.
So did she donate all that money? Like, was that the goal? Because it sounds like everybody's trying to grab at her fortune.
Yeah, and that's where it gets murky because there's not, as you heard, there's not a lot of records of her. And she was here in the country illegally. So there's not much of a paper trail as well, but we don't know really at this point what were her final wishes down in San Francisco. But hey, went to a good cause.
Boy, what a fascinating story, Lauren.
So fascinating. Thank you, Lauren.
Yeah, thank you for indulging me.
Come to the fair, says Seattle, and the invitation is accepted by thousands on opening day of the big international exposition. Even before the gates are open, they press to get in. It's America's first World's Fair since 1940, and millions of visitors are expected, like this first day crowd, to throng its boulevards of the world and plaza of the states during the next 6 months. People gather in the stadium for the official opening by President Kennedy from Palm Beach. He presses a historic gold key that had opened the Alaska-Yukon Pacific Exposition 53 years ago, and the fair is on. The subsequent crash of a jet into a residential area casts the only cloud on Seattle's big day, but the spectators are not aware of the tragedy. 74 acres of space-age fantasy, bright pavilions, and fun centers make Seattle a world's wonderland.
Are you a prostitute now?
No.
Effective when?
About 2 months ago.
You haven't turned a trick in 2 months.
I haven't picked up anybody off the street. I've stayed with, last couple months, just with my steadies. The ones I've had for...
Don't pull up, don't pull up, don't pull up, I'm downtown. Seattle shakedown, hey! Well, stay down, hey! Northwest Division.
Big blocks on this shit, nigga, big top. Big top on a bitch in this drop top. I had doors on my Benz, it was drop top. Bitch, I don't never play no hopscotch. She on a blade, but the bitch ain't playing hopscotch. I had a Benz, nigga, and it was a drop top. Lamborghini doors, nigga, and I crashed that shit. I bought a Jag, nigga, after I crashed my Benz. My bitch got a Porsche truck, nigga, Panamera. You know, all vision, nigga, Panamera. Mask on, nigga, smear face mascara. New shit, nigga, ain't shit from last year. She left a heel on the blade, call her Cinderella. You had a hoe for a year, you ain't getting better. North Face, Helly Hansen, nigga, Eddie Bauer. Every time she turn to date the bitch and take a shower. I'm the type of nigga, I'ma make it crystal clear. Many mansions up in Phoenix with a chandelier. Got that yacht on me, got that Glock on me. Yeah, baby girl, you know I got Chris Rock on me. New Jack City, nigga, new cities. If she ain't down for 30 days, she can't hit new cities. 10,000 choosing fee, I just went up 50. Niggas saying got a problem, come get it up with me.
Seattle. The year was 1869. A tall, suave, well-dressed gentleman picked his way through the piles of goods at Water's Edge, brought by the same lumber schooner which had carried him from San Francisco. His name, John Pennell, and he would leave his mark on Seattle history. The logging camps were roaring, 10,000 men living and working in the flourishing lumber industry around the city. By day, they swung the huge axes in the timbered hills. At night, they gambled, fought, and otherwise tried to entertain themselves in the camps. John Pennell was a man of some vision, and a business opportunity rarely escaped him. There were no women, so Pennell shipped the first white women north of the Columbia River. From the well-stocked houses of the Barbary Coast, Pennell recruited his ladies for the huge male population of womanless Seattle. He once bragged, "Give me a lonely man on payday, a girl over 12, and I'll build you a business community." His girls were established on a sawdust fill south of Yesler Way, and the bright glow of honky-tonk had arrived. Pennell, Seattle's first procurer, faded from the scene, but prostitution flourished. In a short time, seamen and lumbermen, gold panners and hard rock miners spoke of this new city, and they dubbed it the harlot of the Northwest. At the turn of the century, 3 cable cars operated in the city. The Madison Line ran north, the James Line in the city's center, and the last, Yesler, went south. Prostitution in the city grew, centered below Yesler in what was called below the line. The line was in fact Washington Street. It ran south from 1st Avenue to 3rd Avenue. There below the line, notorious names like Lou Graham, Lila Young, and Ray Roberts became almost household words in their era. And what an era it was. Lou Graham's house occupied the southwest corner of 3rd Avenue and Washington, a half block away from Seattle's first city hall. Some said more city business was transacted at Lou's place than at the official city offices. When Lou died, her entire estate was willed to the public school system. The crib houses and parlor houses of Seattle continue to operate under the pretext that it would keep prostitution out of hotels and residential areas. Both that idea and city administrations came under fire from irate citizens who lived below the line, many of whom were finally forced to post signs reading "private residence" to slow the traffic of after-hour pleasure seekers knocking at front doors. And so the years passed. In World War I and II, soldiers and sailors waiting at nearby bases discovered that much of downtown Seattle was posted with off-limits signs, the only way the military could cope with the problem. By the end of the war, public pressure and changing attitudes in the city ended the era of bright lights and painted ladies, but not the business. Prostitution outlived the madams and the houses that filled our lusty city history, and in the process, prostitution became tougher, less gaudy, and rooted in the vice of the city. Prostitution in Seattle remained in varying degrees through the 40s and 50s. Knowledgeable pleasure seekers knew the contacts and where to go. Still, the streetwalkers and outward signs of vice remained confined to specific locations, such as the International District, and for the public it was a case of out of sight, out of mind. Then in the 1960s, the court ruled Section 16 of the City Code unconstitutional, too vague. Suddenly, the police found themselves without a loitering ordinance, the common excuse for keeping the girls out of sight. In short order, enterprising vice merchants discovered the new loophole. The number of girls working the streets trebled. Seattle citizens found themselves brushing off the advances of prostitutes, even in the company of their wives on an evening out. And the hookers, pressured by the insistent demands of their pimps, moved into the heart of the downtown business district, roving a 4-block area of Pike Street between 3rd and 7th Avenue. In January of 1969, the pace of prostitution reached its peak on Seattle streets. Upwards of 100 girls were walking Pike Street, with still others working in the International District and on the Hill at 14th and Yesler. Since Pike also contains several theaters, restaurants, and stores, the public abruptly found itself quite literally face to face with the problem of prostitution. Store workers returning to their homes after an early morning inventory assignment related in startled amazement stories of being accosted at 6 in the morning by a hopeful prostitute looking for one more trick. Theater owners and store managers filled the police lines and City Hall mail with complaints. Linked to that was a barrage of complaints from the girls' unwary clients who listed muggings, knifings, blackmail, threats, and general thievery as an added price for the girls' attentions. Health officials noted an unhealthy rise in the presence of venereal disease. When an arrest could be made, officers put a health hold on the girl, allowing a city doctor to test for venereal disease before the girl would be released on bond. Approximately 25% of those arrested showed positive reactions to VD, rather frightening odds for the prospective customer to consider. But the girls actually arrested remained a small percentage of the total. The law required an overt act of solicitation before arrest. The girl must not only agree to perform intercourse for pay, but had to enter a cab or hotel, or otherwise prove she intended to go through with the bargain. Even using available patrol officers and special squad members as undercover agents, the vice section discovered the girls were very clever. They posted lookouts and regularly attended court cases of their fellow hustlers, spotting the officers and memorizing faces and arrest techniques. Further complicating the arrest procedure was appeal bail. Following an arrest, the girl posted bond of $500 usually, of which she paid only $75 to a bondsman. If convicted, she posted another bond or let the old one stand. For $75, she remained on the street during appeal, and in one night could make up the money. The appeals were log-jammed in the Supreme Court, with prostitutes with 8 or 9 convictions with no sentence, not unusual. When months later the Supreme Court was able to act and the sentence finally imposed, the girls simply left town to work Portland or San Francisco or San Diego, a never-ending cycle and supply of prostitutes. The police frantically sought a remedy to the situation. City attorneys burned midnight oil, rewriting the loitering ordinance to meet rigid Supreme Court specifications for clarity and precise language. Finally, a new law evolved. It made it illegal for a known or convicted prostitute to accompany other known or convicted prostitutes in an area where soliciting is known to take place. Are most of the girls themselves thieves?
Not necessarily the girls so much as just being thieves. They've turned to this type of crime as to robbing the customers because of the pressures put on them
by the pimps.
By the pimps. And the pimps in their greed for more money, the fact that the Seattle Police Department has put the tremendous amount of pressure on the girls. We've eliminated the problem to a point where it's manageable, it's controllable now. This is cut into the pocketbooks of the pimps. The pimps, naturally, with their take way down, have forced their girls into turning to the crime of larceny from the person. They take the trick up now, and instead of fulfilling the trick, they generally rob them. And this is quite a common activity now in the prostitution game.
How would you equate the problem now as compared to, say, a year ago with the new ordinance, the loitering ordinance that you have, the more specific one? How do you feel you're doing?
We feel that we've gained considerable ground with this problem. Heavens, a year ago you could walk down the street and we've counted as many as 17 at one time standing on one corner. And now you will find a few. Naturally, it's a type of a problem where you can't eliminate it altogether, because where there's money available like this and there's customers available, you're going to find prostitutes.
While the girls of Pike Street may be the most obvious reflection of prostitution in Seattle, they comprise only a small percentage of the actual vice picture. Hotels and bars have had an almost classic relationship to prostitution over the years. A man out of town, away from home and recognition, is a likely customer. While most reputable hotels strongly discourage liaisons on their property, it occurs nonetheless. In a one-week period of time, 3 girls were picked up by police at the prestigious Olympic Hotel. Officers usually are following up on a complaint by the hotel's own security, but occasionally they spot a girl known to them making her exit from a trick just completed. More difficult to deal with for obvious reasons are the higher-priced and more sophisticated call girls who may work only for steady customers, and they are most discreet in their assignations. Of more recent origin, the sauna and the massage parlor has in some cases become a device for the practice of prostitution. Vice officers have made arrests in a number of areas of the city, including outside the line in South King County. They are arresting for lewd behavior linked to the sauna parlors. In many cases, the girls limit their relationship with their customers to something just short of actual intercourse, which accounts for the distinction of the law between offering and agreeing to prostitution and what is defined as a lewd act. Again, the problem of police control is difficult due to the lengthy and secretive procedure necessary to place an officer inside one of the establishments. Quite obviously, the growth of motels and roadway inns has raised the number of available rooms and locations to impossible levels. In such cases, a self-policing attitude on the part of the management of the motel becomes the last recourse. Police files and reports are dotted with the stories of a suburban housewife or an airline stewardess who decides to supplement her income by turning an occasional trick. While the information is known to police, it is usually well after the fact and of such limited frequency as to rule out active investigation. By the time a woman has developed enough customers to cause neighborhood complaints or the concern of a motel manager, she moves out of town or simply quits. Such is usually the case with a go-go dancer who picks her customer carefully over a long night of contacts in the club and then retires to her own or the customer's apartment or house for a single trick, usually at high pay. Again, an extremely difficult chain of contact to interrupt through the use of a plainclothes officer. Almost all of the girls have learned to avoid young men not in military uniform, preferring the safer and higher-paying older business type who spends freely and causes no trouble, not wanting personal embarrassment. It is the personal embarrassment which clouds the use of a customer as a witness against a girl. Few men's ego will allow them to admit they paid for their sexual relations, and there is always the added humiliation for family and friends. While vice officers consider these contacts part of the overall problem, operating houses of prostitution are of more concern. Between 10 and 15 such houses are believed operating at present in the city. They work almost exclusively on a referral basis, keeping involved file systems on their customers, quoting identification, background, probable income, the numbers and style of tricks, and even credit references. The houses are so well insulated and organized that they will in fact even take checks from customers. Sharon is one of the house girls. She was a student at St. Mary's Girls' School in Seattle. At the age of 12, she was put on the street by her mother. At 13, she was pregnant and gave birth to a son who is now 8 years old. For the past couple of years, she has worked out of houses. The money and the hours are excellent.
And then you progressed and you had 3 totally in your career.
Yes.
Let's talk about the third one. He's in prison now.
Yes.
And you put him in prison.
Yes.
For what reason?
Well, I couldn't take giving him all my money, and I never got anything out of it. All I got out of the money was for gas, for driving around trying to make more money, or maybe something to eat, and that was about it. Otherwise, I got nothing out of it.
Did he beat you?
Quite a bit when I didn't get enough for him, or when he got mad at me, I didn't do something right. Or when I came home, a couple times when I came home and I maybe had $70, $80, and he wanted something like $150, $200.
And $75 or $80 for a night was not enough.
Yeah, not when I knew what I was doing.
What would a good night be for you when you were working well?
150, 200.
And all of this went to the pimp?
Yes.
How did you live then? Did he give you spending money? Did he maintain the apartment? How did this all work?
When I got the money at the end of the night, before I even took off my clothes to go to bed, he'd have that money in his hand. Or I'd have it out of my purse and on the dresser if he was sleeping. He always had it before I got in that bed.
It's not a secret that crime has plagued Seattle's Aurora Avenue for years.
There are no easy answers, to the homeless problem, to the drug problem, to any of it.
But Seattle police are looking to chip away where they can, labeling this Oak Tree Motel a chronic nuisance after responding 43 times, they say, to the property in 2025 alone for calls like shootings, prostitution, human trafficking, and more. Today, a contractor on scene telling KOMO News they were there to board up the windows. A closed sign could be seen lit up in the office window as well. We haven't been able to reach the owner of the property for comment.
I do agree that shouldn't go on, and some of the stuff that's happened up and down this road.
Chris, who didn't want to appear on camera, walks by the motel every day. He says SPD's decision is just shuffling the deck.
You get rid of the dealers, more show up. You get rid of the addicts, more show up. You get rid of the prostitution, more show up. What's the underlying factor in all of that? That's a tough one.
Meanwhile, Al Hashim owns an auto body shop across from the John Fox low-income housing complex where a man was shot the very same day SPD went after the motel.
At the beginning was okay, but lately it's been a lot of 911 call and so much stuff.
He contends it's a small step forward, but that it's not just on the police department.
Like I said, the city, they have to do something about it because they keep moving issue from downtown and keep pushing it further north, and that's not a solution.
SPD says they arrested a 45-year-old man in connection to the shooting at that apartment complex. In the meantime, we are still waiting on data from SPD on how crime is trending overall along Aurora Avenue. Reporting here in Seattle, Tyler Cunnington, KOMO News.
$1 million choosing fee.
Young Nation, bitch.
It's that new shit.
Yes.
Coming in hot. Young season.
Seattle shakedown, bro, bitches breakdown.
All this money ain't an accident. Nigga about to say, fuck this rapping shit. Nigga, what I did, it ain't an accident. My mama told you that you was an accident. About to say, fuck all this rapping shit. Getting all this money ain't an accident. Sending all these hoes, it ain't an accident. Getting all this money ain't an accident. Nigga shot a nigga on an accident. I'm about to really say fuck this rapping shit. She shows up, nigga, I ain't kidnapped a bitch. Every time you see me,